Welcome to the Raising Emotionally Intelligent Humans podcast. I'm Heidi Lindemann, your host. I'm a therapist, a single mom by choice, and a lover of emotions and raising the emotional intelligence of our world so that we can raise children in a world that's a little bit better. So I am creating this podcast, obviously, to talk about emotional intelligence. And I'm going to share with you a story about why this is important or how it works in my life with my kids, to give you a little glimpse of how you could also raise the emotional intelligence of your family, of yourself, of your children. And we'll go from there. So thank you for joining me for this adventure, for this story, and trusting me on this first episode and trying it out to see if you like it. All right, so the story I want to tell starts with a prequel, kind of. Talking a little bit about what life was before this moment. So I have a currently now almost 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. And so this is back when my kiddo was, 2, 3, new baby in the world. That mix of new life when there's a going from 1 to 2 kiddos, and being in around the age of 2.5, 3, that kind of age, what is called a tantrum is pretty normal. I don't know if I love the word tantrums or not, but to me it's just like an emotional expression of a lot of feelings, and my kids don't know how to control their feelings yet because they're small. She was 3. And that can look like throwing things. My kiddo really likes to pull things over when she's feeling feelings dysregulated, doesn't like what's happening around her. She can scream, sometimes she hits, sometimes she kicks. So that kind of intensity kind of comes out with my older kiddo. And I was wondering, what in the world do I do? How do I help this kid learn what to do when she feels angry? Particularly angry, because it's when these come out more often when she doesn't get what she wants, or a transition happens faster than she's ready for. Obviously, it happens when she's tired or hungry. And I was doing the best that I could. I was listening to all the other podcasts, not all of the other podcasts, but some of the other podcasts, a little Good Inside, a little Janet Lansbury, a little, those are maybe the main two. Raising Good Humans, Eliza Persman, love her. And trying my best to do what they're talking about, to use scripts, to validate the feelings, but not allow the behavior, not really knowing what that means, but trying my best and doing what I could. And it's hard. It's hard being a mom to young children. And then over time, something shifted. So there was this moment where I realized that I needed tangibleness to the emotions. I needed to be able to tangibly do something with the emotions. So I created what's called an emotion processing center in my house, in a little corner upstairs. Pretty simple. I put a cookie sheet and I got some emotion stickers and I got magnets and I put them on there. And so there's magnets of emotions, all kinds of different emotions up there. And then I got 2 whiteboards, a big one and a smaller one, to take the emotions and put them on there, on the whiteboards, and then to play around with how are we feeling, what different feelings do we have? Maybe we have more than one feelings. I'm an IFS therapist, so I love parts work, and was like, how do I teach my children parts? And so I created the Emotion Processing Center. That's how I teach them parts. And it has so much helped and changed the emotions in our world, or what we do with them. not really change the emotions. We still have anger, we still have dysregulation, but we can do something different with them now. And it's giving me insight into what my kids need. So when I set this up, first what happened is I showed my older kiddo how to use it. She was maybe 4-ish around this time. And I went up there and I drew out an experience that happened in my life that we literally had just happened. And I was drawing it. I was like telling her, when we were at the birthday party, I was feeling this pull inside of me where I wanted to go, where I wanted to leave. I really didn't want to stay any longer. I wanted to go home, and I felt kind of done with the birthday party, but another part of me was feeling like, oh, we really need to stay for the cake and for time after the cake, and so we should really stay here for longer. And then I got really frustrated and angry when my kids wouldn't leave. And then I yelled. Oh, I didn't like that I yelled. And I'm talking about this as I'm drawing it out on the board upstairs. And then I started saying, I wonder what I needed. Well, I was really frustrated because I wanted to leave. But I wonder if I would have paid attention to that part of me inside that wanted to leave earlier. What if I had left earlier? What might have that been like? I wonder. Maybe that would have made it feel a little easier or smoother. Maybe I wouldn't have got as angry. I wonder. I don't know. And then I drew more and I said, you know what I think I really wish I would have done? I wish I would have left when the two of the teachers that were there, that they said goodbye and that they left. Because I felt a really big pull to leave then too. I wish I would have gathered our stuff then and left then. It was right after the cake. I wonder what would have happened if I had done that. I'm really glad I know that what it feels like in my body when my social battery is out. Said something like that. And just drew it out. I didn't tell her she needed to draw out her feelings. I just literally showed her what to do. And then she sat there, because of course she wanted to do it too. We erased mine. And she sat there and she drew out a whole scene. And she drew her little sister poking her in the eye. And then she drew her mom hugging her and helping her feel better when she felt sad. And we talked about that and how that, and she actually, and then I said, what do you think you needed when you felt sad, when your sister poked you in the eye? And she said, I needed some mama love. What else did you feel? I felt angry. Oh, you felt angry. What did the part of you that felt angry needed? Oh, it needed more mama love. That's what she told me. Her angry part needs more mama love. Right there. My child's angry part needs more mama love. That is the biggest takeaway that I have ever had from the Emotion Processing Center, because it changed my entire way that I looked at my kiddo when she was feeling angry, when she was kicking, when she was screaming, when she didn't like what was happening. It was the reminder in my head, that part of her needs more mama love. And even as I say it now, I can feel these goosebumps, this like, oh, that resonates so deeply and that's so right. So I stored that one away. Weeks, I don't know how long went by. Some amount of time went by. Another small story. We were getting ready for school. Mornings, sometimes getting out of the door a little bit tricky. Our trickier time is really when we get home. That tends to be the more dysregulated moment in our house. But mornings can also be a little bit hard, particularly the let's get on our shoes and let's walk out the door. Let's get in the car. That part. And this particular morning, it was really hard for my kid. And I'm not even quite sure what I did, but I know I think I picked up her shoes and I carried them outside and I picked her up and I walked her outside and she didn't have any shoes on. Because I had told her to put her shoes on many times and I tried to help her put on her shoes and she just wouldn't let me. So like we're going to school. We were already late. We're gonna go to school. The entire car ride, she's screaming, right, not liking what's happening. I do have when she screams, I roll down the window to make it not as loud. I'm okay if she screams. I feel safe enough when I'm driving. Some people do not feel safe when they're driving and their kids are screaming. I just need the windows down. She doesn't like the windows down, so it usually gets her to stop screaming too. And then we get to school. School's like 5-minute drive away from our house. And I get the little one out. She's standing on the grass waiting for us at the front. I get the older one out. And she's still really angry. And I remember her angry part needs more mama love. So I get down on her level and I look at her and I say, you feel really angry. You didn't like the way that happened. I think you need more mama love, is that right? And she looked at me and she stopped and she shook her head. And then I hugged her. She hugged me. And I hugged her tight. And I did what I call filling her up with love. Learned it from Dr. Becky. Thanks, Dr. Becky. It's a great one. Fill up her cup. So I give her lots of hugs. I give her lots of kisses. I ask her how high is the love? Where is it? Is that your knees? Is that at your belly? Is it at your head? How high is the love? And she tells me where it is. And I'm like, oh, you need some more mama love, huh? So I give her more mama love. I give her more hugs. I give her more kisses. I slow down and I really am present with her in this moment. Her whole body relaxed and shifted. And then we were able to go inside. She did still struggle when it was time for me to leave her classroom. Sometimes she does, I don't know, it's like a 50-50 call if she's going to have a run off and play with my friends or if she's going to have a mom don't leave me moment. Don't really know. She did still struggle at that, but I also know that by pausing in that moment when she was feeling angry when we got to the school and giving her that mama love, her part that was feeling angry, she did calm down some. She did regulate more. And it is just so powerful to me to have my kid actually tell me what she needs. I can do my best to guess, and of course, with young kids, there is being attuned and trusting your intuition and all of that. And sometimes we're right, and sometimes we aren't. But the message is very clear from her. She just needs more mama love. So it's my job, my responsibility to do as much as I can to work with the parts of me that get frustrated and angry. Because yeah, I've got those too. I feel a little frustrated when I ask my kids to put on their shoes a whole lot. And they don't even jump to do it. They don't even find their shoes. And that's on me too. I need to ask them less and just help them put on their shoes. They're still kind of young. The point is that generally our kids need more of our love, our compassion, our kindness, our gentleness. But they, of course, also need boundaries and sturdiness. But this is when they're really dysregulated, when they're really angry, it helps so much to have somebody who is grounded and knows what they need. Because I think often when we're angry, we don't actually know what we need. I know for myself when I'm angry, I often don't know what I need. And anger generally points to a unmet need or a boundary that's been crossed. So I just need it for her. And she told me what it was. Some more mama love. And it's just lovely. So this podcast here, I'm going to share stories, real stories about my life with my kids and the emotional processing, the emotional learning that happens. And also sometimes just the really big emotions without much learning. And I really hope that by hearing real stories, real ways that I show up with my kids in moments of emotion, both my own and my child's, that it can help you to think creatively, to think with a little more curiosity about what do you need when you're feeling any particular emotion? What does your kid need when they're feeling any particular emotion? How can you learn what your needs are so that you can come to that place of meeting those needs more often when there is that dysregulation? So that's the podcast. I am so looking forward to sharing these stories with you. I've been enjoying telling them and creating them and being in the world of them. I get benefit. I just love telling them, and I really hope that they're going to resonate with you. If they do resonate, please share with other mamas. Let other mamas and other parents know that they're not alone in these emotional times, that there is a way to increase their own emotional intelligence. There is a way to raise their child with emotional intelligence. So as we end today, Mama, may you know that you are part of a community. You are creating a better world for yourself and for our children. And I'd invite you right now, Mama, just to take a deep breath. Take a deep breath in and out. One more time, in and out. Know that as you breathe in and out, you are not alone. We all breathe the same air, and we are connected. And here's the credits. The Raising Emotionally Intelligent Humans podcast was produced and created by me, Heidi Lindemann. New at podcasting, new at hosting, new at producing, doing it all and figuring it out as I go along. So thank you for joining me. And if you enjoyed this episode, please like, please subscribe, please leave a comment. That's what helps podcasts grow, reach more people, so that we can really create the community that we are wanting for our children and for ourselves. Let's keep creating emotional intelligence in this world, doing it one moment at a time, one step at a time, one feeling at a time. Mama, we've got this together.